Can brother teach please lead us the bow? Is he here?
No, he's not here too. He's busy in a meeting.
Okay, then brother
Oh,
Fuman, would you like
he's here
to?
now. He's here.
Oh, okay.
He's here.
Hello, brother teach.
First
Okay,
bow.
please all stand up.
Second bow. Third bow.
Okay, firstly, we would like to welcome brothers and sisters from Olivan and Mpumalanga to join us today again. So they probably will join us every second week. So let's start with the video first.
佛陀伊的弟子中啊，提婆达多啊，聪明伶俐，但是伊却是做一寡真正的愚痴的代志。譬如讲，伊若是出家，会当凭着伊迄份的聪明来转成智慧。伊会当伫佛教中啊，真有成就的长老。设使讲，伊若是伫家庭，伊会当通好享受啊，会当将伊的权位啊，参甲伊的财产，会当通好做一个真好的布施，会当护法。偏偏呢，伊选择弃掉了王位去出家，却是袂当配合着佛陀的规矩，无法度通好容纳伫即个僧团的内底。伊一直想讲要去立新教，所以伊离开了僧团，想尽办法来破坏僧团。一寡比丘啊，就讲真可惜，出家，那么伊就损失了伊在家的地位啊、财物啊。出家呢，损失了伊袂当通好好就道业，所以伊就损失了伊的道业吧。好像一支茶，两边拢烧乌去啦。这支茶中央呢，嘛试袂出了伊好的材料出来。佛陀听着讲，无毋对，提婆达多呢，都亲像迄支茶，两边拢烧去，中央呢，取袂出伊好的材料。逐个人就讲，佛陀。到底伊过去生过有啥物款的因缘啊？亲像即生出世两头损失，佛陀就讲来，我来讲讲提婆达多过去生中，又是一世人做着即种愚痴的代志，两边损失。那这个故事佛陀就开始讲啦。 渔船带着一群的船民，这个船民啊，真正是重护老实，有时阵啊金龙，有时阵呢去拍鱼。有一位渔夫啊，伊就带着伊的囝去一个湖啊钓鱼啊。伊就伫迄个湖边啊，用着一支的钓钩拍落去湖底。这个钓钩呢，要钓起来啊，好像就真重，扭袂起来。伊感觉讲，可能是真大尾的鱼。伊拄伫咧扭的时，心内就伫咧想：这尾鱼这么大，我若是安尼就扭起来，可能别人呢，嘛会为我来，同款的会搁再落去钓。这窟湖的内底的鱼啊，真紧的都互人钓完去啦，分偏了家己的利益。所以伊叫伊的囝，我甲你讲，我即摆要钓出大鱼来，你赶紧转去甲你的妈妈讲，爸爸伫要钓着真大鱼，惊讲吼边仔若搁有人来钓，这个湖底的大鱼会去互人分去。你转去甲妈妈讲，叫伊找出方法，到庄内甲人冤家，互大家人去看这个冤家啊。安尼就袂来注意到我钓这尾鱼，囝就真正就走转去啦。就照安尼甲妈妈讲，妈妈呢嘛想讲对啊，想办法甲人冤家。就去挽树叶啊，夹的，然后呢，用乌木安尼甲伊画咧，画到乌，就到处啦，每一个家庭去甲人敲门啊。有个人看到都无爱插伊啊，感觉讲啊，到底这是什么意思啊？一巧地基，这个妈妈哪伫咧行喺中间心呢，真懊恼，想讲哦，哪会无人要来碰我？结果啊，碰到一个真好的朋友啊。这个好朋友看到伊安尼就讲：啊，你是毋是起笑啊？伊就抓着这句话呢，就开始甲伊诱我啦。我都无起笑，你骂我起笑，我绝对无帮你耍。我要甲你拖来去船长的所在，叫船长啊，甲你发钱来赔偿我名誉损失。大 QQ 人啦，真正扭去船长因兜去。船长啊，听伊讲话，甚至呢，全船的人啊，同款会感觉讲，疯啦。船长呢，听咧，搁甲看较清楚，伊讲，若准是互我看到，我嘛会问讲，你是毋是伫咧起笑？该发的呢是你，因为呢，你扰乱了船民的心。也迄个渔夫呢，伊的囝走了后的时，伊就想讲，这尾鱼这大尾，强要救起来呢，可能会断去。鱼搁走去啦，安尼就是损失。所以伊干脆啊，就把衫脱起来，就跳落去湖底。原来啊，这个钓钩啊呢，是去互下面的叉机给砍掉咧。伫迄个所在要掰开了树枝啊， 迄个手机呢，对目睭甲插落去，钓钩仔呢，嘛对目睭甲勾落去。哦，两蕊目睭啊，痛痛踢嘴，就赶紧呢紧起来，目睭已经无度通闭紧啦，用蒙的呢，安尼蒙起来换顶。伫迄个所在，规身躯寒骨重，要摸伊的衫来穿，但是伊的衫毋知什么时阵去互人听去啦，所以伫迄个所在落心啦，目睭疼，真正是痛苦挣扎。佛陀讲到这，就甲比丘讲：“比丘啊，你知影，这位渔夫呢，就是一时的贪心啊，就是两边损失啦。家己本身呢，就是衫也胖去，目睭呢也互手机钓钩刺伤。”那太太呢？伫传来啊，伫遐惹是生非，啊，阁互船长罚钱，这呢是两边损失。这就是过去的提婆达多，就是有一生这个渔夫的愚痴。这种贪欲的心啊，那属于两边损失，就亲像这当中的提婆达多，伊就是领导权欲大，所以伊出家损失了在家的享受。在损失了出家人应守的戒律、道业，这两边拢是损失啦。这种的贪念失去，嘛伫日常的生活中，咱日常的生活，那会当好好，甲咱的生活的方向那抓互伊准确，甲咱的心照顾得好来，咱所种着的因所结的缘呢，拢是好缘好因
Okay, so what happened in the video? Can anybody tell me what did the fisherman and Devadatta did that was wrong? Any ideas? What did Devadatta and the fisherman do that was wrong?
He was full of greed. The fishermen were got full of greed when he thought that he had caught the biggest of fish. That's why he wanted to keep the fish for himself, and he didn't want other people to know that there are big fishes on his side. So he tried to he tried to hide it from them, that they must not know and they must be distracted by his wife, focus more on his wife while he takes out the fish. Instead, he found out that's not a fish. So greed was the problem there. He got greedy. He thought he could have everything to himself, but he had assumed wrong. With it was not even the fish. It was not even a fish. Yeah.
Yes. So he ended up losing everything basically. And that's the same as Devadatta as well. Devadatta, he longs for power, and he renounced his lay life and gave up his wealth. But then once he become a monk, but he doesn't want to follow Buddha's precepts, so he can't attain Buddhahood. So he also repeats his past, again, he lost both benefits. So today we are talking about greed. Can anybody tell me what is greed? Anybody would like to try? Greed.
Greed. Okay, greed. We define greed more of selfishness. You are thinking about yourself only, do not consider others. You like things that benefit yourself more than others. All the time you want things to be about you. Yeah, that's more greed. It's more about selfishness, actually.
Yes, it's very good. So greed is a state of mood, eh? It's the sensuality, lust, or your desire, or your attachment to a sensory object. Okay, just a quick reminder, what are the 3 poisons in Buddhism?
Greed, anger,
and jealousy.
Greed, anger, and
Jealousy.
ignorance. Yes. So greed, anger, and ignorance are the 3 poisons. And greed is the number 1 of the 3. So when a person exists in this world and he either wants to own a beautiful house, a fancy car, or a beautiful wife and daughter, or he just wants to be rich or famous, or he wants to get delicious food, these desires and delusional thoughts are the greedy disease of our lives. Originally, this greed is not necessarily completely bad. So greed is not always a bad thing. For example, we are greedy for the breadth of knowledge and the depth of learning. So when we crave to learn more things, that's a type of greed as well. Or when we are greedy for the liberation from life and death, using greed in this aspect cannot be completely wrong. But the knowledge, the desire to escape from life and death and to realize the unsurpassed Buddhahood is not a selfish at the expense of others. So which means this is not a selfish act. It's actually a priceless treasure in our life. So when we are talking about greed, we call it greed. We are talking about a greed that is selfish, and it's a greedy desire that costs expense of others. So basically means it harms other people to benefit yourself. That's the type of greedy we are talking about here. So not all type of greed is a bad thing. And in order to seek a little temporary happiness or a little self-interest, people often fight with other between father and son. And the friendship between friends is also kicked away. So people basically give up everything, their family, their friendship, because of greediness sometimes. In order to satisfy greed desires, one can disregard all principles, human feelings, and moral justice. So these are the type of things we do when we get greedy. In our society, once gold, beauty, and fame are in the spotlight, then we will rob, rape, fight, and sue people. So all kinds of tricks will be staged. Isn't this a kind of great serious illness in life? We can regard this as a great illness in our life. So where does greed actually come from? Greed arises from love. People love beauty, money, fame, and status, and enjoyment. These are common things that we all chase after. But in order to satisfy love, Although beauty is like a tiger, money is like a snake, fame and status are like a pet, and enjoyment is like a sharp knife. They still want to desire these things. So in material life, matters is limited. So materials are limited, but our desires are infinite. Of course, limited materials can never satisfy endless desire. So we're going to end up being distressed. Only when the spirit has sustenance, can the mind be at peace. So we're just going to quickly discuss about there are different types of forms of greed. For example, the first type of form of greed can be stingy. When you are stingy, you're not willing to share your wealth with other people. Sometimes you're not even willing to spend the money on yourself. That's stingy. And the second form of greed is arrogant, narcissism. So when you are only clinging to your own strength. And the third type of greed is flattery. Because when somebody is wealthy and have status, then you flatter that person. This is also a type of greed. So the so-called greed is when you're wanting to have more and more and not knowing when it is enough, when you are not contented. When a person is greedy, then obviously this person is going to have a lot of afflictions, because it is a root of afflictions. So we are not saying that you mustn't work hard to earn money. You mustn't buy anything that you need. But you must differentiate the difference between greed and need. One is spelled G-R-E-E-D. One is spelled N-E-E-D. Greed and need. We need to differentiate the difference. But then greed is such an easy thing to pick up in our daily life. It's so easy that you always have desire to wanting to have more things. But how do we cure greed? How do we get rid of greed? We need to learn to give. So the reason people suffer from greed in life is because they think of everything for themselves only and refuse to benefit others. All the lovely things in the world, I wish they could belong to myself completely. I don't care about other people's happiness. We ignore other people's happiness. Their life and death has got nothing to do with me. When we have this attitude, then we will arise greed in our heart. If at this time you know how to give, and when you see other people suffering mentally or materially, you will always be happy to give and share your own happiness and benefit others. Then, of course, the serious disease of greed will not arise. However, when we talk about giving, I think most of us, we think it's an easy thing and we can do it. But it's not as easy as just giving a gift to other people or helping others to relieve some pain. Because this is not a true giving. Because giving gifts to other people and helping others relieve their pain, it is inevitable to have a little idea of hoping to have rewards. So whenever we're giving, but we are hoping to have rewards, it's still called greed. It's not a pure giving. The real sacrifice is like a candle, Although you sacrifice yourself, you're burning yourself, but as long as other people get the light, then that is enough. The real sacrifice is also like the morning dew, knowing that you will perish in an instant, but you still not nourishing the growth of all things. And sometimes you can describe it, it's like the sun's light and heat. The sun's light and heat caress the earth without conditions and without prices. So the sun always shines on the earth and providing heat and sunlight without any conditions. So when we say we don't want any reward and feel that is our duty to do all this stuff, then that's more like a pure giving. So like it also says in the Buddha Sutra, may all beings be free from suffering and not seeking happiness for oneself. So that's the conclusion for today from my side. Anybody would like to share a bit about today's video?
Yeah, I need to ask. Sister Katie,
Hello.
I need to ask you. It's a brother teach.
Yes, Brother Teach.
Yeah. First, you said that we have three poisoners, which is greed, ignorance, and the other one. And anger. Okay.
Greed,
Now
anger, ignorance.
yeah. And then now you say there is good, sort of good greed, where you can say this one is good. And there I don't understand, because we said it's poisonous. So then when we call it, for example, maybe I might need to understand the difference between greed and desire. Because if I desire to have knowledge or education, is that we can call greed, or the greed has to be in a poisonous set where it's poisonous. It's not, it should not be touched. So we cannot say, probably I cannot say greed is also part of poisonous. If I then say I have good greed and then bad greed.
I think
Greed is greed, no matter you have it in which way. So maybe I need clarity on that so that I can understand the term greed, because I thought maybe greed is greed, and then we have desires of having education or houses or property, but it's not greed. It's something that I have to have in life. I'm not greedy. I'm not selfish. But then, I don't know, can you explain to me what's happening there?
yes. I think I got a little bit confused, mixed up by there, because in Chinese we can use the word greed to describe both situations, but I think in English, greed is more of the negative word. So I think instead I'm going to rephrase myself and use the word desire. So when you have desire for knowledge, and when you have desire to learn things, that's not the so-called greed that we say that's a negative thing, you know? And so we can say it's a desire, a thirst. It's like you're thirsty, you want to drink water when you are thirsty for knowledge. So that's not the negative word greed that we are talking about here. When we are talking about greedy, it's mainly when it's being selfish, and then you perhaps even harm people to benefit yourself. From a more selfish aspect, then we will call it a greed. But like you also mentioned about, like, we need to have a house, we need to have a car. That's for our daily uses. Yes, that's our needs. But sometimes we need to differentiate the difference between greed and need. Is this all we already enough of what we have, but or we just chasing it without thinking? I don't know if I have answered your question.
Yeah, yes, true. At least now it's different, because I was not understanding why is it now said we have this type of greed and this type of greed.
Yes, I think I need to rephrase myself, because I think the Chinese and the English language with applications is a bit different sometimes. But yeah, like I said, in English, we rather call it the desire or the thirst for knowledge instead of saying it's a greed. Yeah, because greed, I think it is a more just negative word. Yes.
Okay. And the other thing is, I need to really understand what it causes, like maybe what is the causes of greed. Is it just being selfish, or there is another type of causes? where maybe someone ends up being greedy? Is it lack of, or maybe poverty? Is it lack of knowledge, or what? What can be the causes of greed?
From my side, I would say the cause of greediness, it can be from many aspects as well. Like you said, from poverty, perhaps it's the environment you grew up with. You have always been lacking of things. Sometimes you might oppositely turn out to be the opposite, too much. But what I think in Buddhism, there's a word that we call attachment. It's when you are attached to things, especially when we're talking about sensualities, things that's like sensory objects. When you are so much attached to it, I used love just now to describe it, but love is actually supposed to be a positive word. So I would rather want to say attachment to it. When you are so attached to something and it becomes endless pursuing it, then that becomes a greed, So I think the key point is here is the attachment, because in Buddhism, we always learn we need to be detached to things, no matter if it's money, food, or any sensory object, we learn to practice to be detached to those things. So you are not stuck with the feelings or the desire of such a thing all the time. So attachment, I think, is one of the big things that's related to greed. That's from my opinion. I don't know if I've answered your question a little bit.
Yeah, it's fine. And the other point is, if a person got this greed, can we say then that person got love? Because if you have true love, I don't think you will then need to be greedy. So I'm not sure now if you say that teach is greed, and then at the same time, he's so kind, he loves people and he do well. Can that be attached? Can that be on one person that you've got love and is also greed?
I'm not sure if I get you 100%. You mean like when you have love for people and you have love for other family, or do you call that greed? Is that what you say?
Not sure. Come again, I did not hear you.
I'm not sure if I get your question. Do you mean like when you have love for other people, is that also called greed? Is that what you're asking?
No, I'm saying, can we say teach got love and at the same time he's greedy? Can love and greed work together in one person? Or if I'm greedy, it means I don't have love, because I'll be very selfish. How can I love the next person when I'm selfish? I need everything to be mine. So therefore, I don't have, to me, I feel as if I don't have love. But then I was asking that, is these two things be in one person, love and greed?
I think there is a bit of a contradiction and conflicts there between these two words to itself, because if you love somebody, then automatically you want to share and you want to benefit that person, you want to see them do well. But if you are a greedy person, then I don't think it's very easy for a greedy person to have love for other people. Yeah, but this is from my opinion. We also would like to, if any other brothers and sisters have some ideas or opinion, you will also more than welcome to share with us. But to me, I think love and greediness they sort of contradict each other a little bit.
Okay. I'm done. I'm okay from my side. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Teach. Anyone else would like to also share a bit about the video or anything we just discussed? Anyone from Olavan or Mpumalanga?
I want to know, okay, like we are doing Tsuchi. So when I'm doing Tsuchi, like I need to, let's say, help many people at the same time. And then I don't have the necessities to help people. Then I come here like to Brother Kelvin and ask Brother Kelvin, I want 100 things to help this thing. Then Brother Kelvin say, no, it's too much or what? Then I'll say, Brother Kelvin, I really want those things. Is that not greedy? Am I not being greedy to Brother Kelvin? But at the same time, I want to help the poor. That's my question.
I don't think that's being greedy because it's your desire of wanting to help people. But sometimes Brother Calvin might have to adjust the amount according to situations because of the stock amount we have left in the storage, or maybe because from our experience we know some people, they seem to look like they need it but they don't really need it. So there are different situations and scenarios that might happen, but the idea here is that I don't think that your desire wanting to help people is you can't call that greed, because it's based on love that you want to spread to other people. So that is not greedy. Greedy is when you are doing it purely just for yourself, if it's completely selfish. Yes. Sister Karen, I don't know if I've answered your question.
Yes, I think I am answered. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Anyone else would like to also say a few words or share with us about what you learned today?
Good day. I want to say that a person who is dominated by greed will often not realize the harm their action can cause to themselves or others. Just like the man on the video, he ended up being hurt and he lost his clothes. So a greed person turns into a very hateful and spiteful human being. And greed can make you do things you know that are wrong.
Thank you very much, sister. That was lovely. I don't know if I have explained it very well, but this topic on greed, it can be easy, but we can also go in very deep. So if you have questions that I cannot answer today for you, next time when we have Brother Tim here online with us, we can also ask him, but you must just please remember your question for us.
What was the question?
Anyone else would like to share with us? Yes, please. You must switch on your microphone. We can't hear you though. No.
I think that in the morning we watch a video of Master Cheng Yen.
Teacher son, change and go to another laptop because your mic seems like your mic is not loud enough.
Yeah, I think there's a problem with your mic there.
Am I audible now?
Yes, good,
Yes.
perfect.
Okay. As I was saying that in the morning we watched a video about Master Cheng Yen telling us about a chip glass that even if it's chipped on the other side but it's still useful in the other side, we should only see the good things in a person. So that goes for the greed, that a person we can't see them when they are greedy, but we can actually see them, but their actions, how they do things, how they feel. But other than that, we cannot see them, we can only feel them.
Thank you. Are you finished? I see. Okay, I don't know how to pronounce this name. I see your microphone is on. Somebody would like to say something from Sister Karen's side. No?
God Sakile wants to say something.
Good afternoon, everyone.
So,
Yes, I think this video that we're watching today is teaching us that we mustn't be greedy because we have to love each other. So I think the best thing, mustn't be greedy. We must help each other have love, because that man who was fishing there, he ended up hurting his eyes, didn't see his clothes. So guys, let's be not greedy, but we have love to each other. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
May I also say something?
Yes,
The
please.
thing is when you become greedy, you don't notice that you are greedy. It starts with small things. Like, okay, for example, I've got a book. You don't have a book. Then you just look at me. Tomorrow I have a pen, you don't have a pen. So that greedy, you can't realize that you are greedy up until something wrong happens to you. Then that's where maybe people will tell you that, why are you greedy? And still you won't submit that you are greedy. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sister Karen. I think the key point is here that we must learn to be contented. So you feel everything is satisfied, you know, if you feel you are satisfied with all you got. But you still have to work hard and improve yourself, that's for sure. But you must at the same time also appreciate and be satisfied what you already got. I think that will also help with our heart of getting to become greedy. Yes. Okay, anyone else would like to share? No one? Should we conclude for today?
yes.
Okay, then Brother Teach, could you please lead us the bow?
Okay. Let's stand up. The first bow. Second bow. Third bow.
Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. We will see you next week. Bye bye. Have a lovely weekend.
Bye. Bye.